More than 114,000 votes have been cast in Lucas County as of this hour. Polls are still open for another hour and a half in Ohio. Lucas County is seeing about a 38%, almost 39% turnout at this hour. The Board of Elections telling us it has not seen any major issues with voting and explains that the long wait times might have to do with precinct consolidation.
Because some locations, precincts have been moved around. So, for example, there are certain locations where people say, oh, well, there were 10 here, last time I voted in 2020. Well, there's only 2 precincts there instead of 3. As we move some locations around, things like that have changed.
And again, just to reiterate, polls in Ohio close at 7:30 tonight. If you are still in line when the polls close, stay there. You are allowed to vote as long as you are in line by 7:30 here in Ohio. Now, you do still have time to vote if you haven't already. Polls in Michigan, they close tonight at 8 o'clock. But the poll times in Ohio, as we said, different. Look at the screen right there at home. So if you haven't gotten out and done it yet, you've got until 7:30 tonight in Ohio, 8 o'clock in Michigan.
Today's election will determine the balance of Congress. The CBS News Battleground Tracker finds Republicans have the edge to win back the House, but the Senate is a toss-up with 6 states on a knife's edge. If Republicans take control of even one House of Congress, it could complicate President Biden's agenda and diminish Democrats' power through the end of his administration.
Both sides are so polarizing right now, it's hard to determine where the middle is. And it's just crazy the way things are going, the way people are at each other's throats about every little detail about everything.
In the closest races, elections officials are advising it could take days for results to be known. Dan Cummins and Kaylee Marentet kicking off our election team coverage. They are keeping a close eye on that race for a seat on Ohio's 9th Congressional District. Dan Cummins live in downtown Toledo, where Lucas County Republicans are coming together. But first, I want to start with Kaylee Marentet. Kaylee is at the UAW local in central Toledo. Kaylee, how's it going there?
Melissa, we are here at the local UAW 12 in Toledo, and things are still getting set up here for Marcy Kaptur, incumbent Marcy Kaptur's watch party. It starts at 7 o'clock tonight. I asked the Congresswoman's spokespeople about why she decided to have her watch party at a UAW hall, and they said because of her close ties to union workers, and also she is a strong believer in moving the auto industry forward in Ohio. Kaptur is the longest serving woman in the U.S. House of Representatives and has been in her spot since 1983. Next year will be her 40th year in Congress. We spoke with Kaptur last week about things she's done recently in the region and what she wants to continue. Here's what she said.
I'm a very, very hands-on representative, somebody who tries to get things done. If you look across the region right now, there are construction projects everywhere. Most of them are federal. Whether it's the South End Bridge in the greater Toledo area, whether it's the federal courthouse going up downtown, whether it's Route 6 over in Erie County. We just left Erie County today. All across this region, we see improvements.
We will be here until those race results become official. I will be sure to stay here and update you throughout the night of how things are going. Reporting live in central Toledo, Kaylee Marentet, WTOL 11.
All right, let's get over to our Dan Cummins now. He is live with the Lucas County Republican Party, gathering downtown where they are holding out hope for J.R. Majewski going up against Marcy Kaptur. Dan?
Jeff, I'm at Yale Cock and Bowl. Republicans will be gathering here as the night goes on. J.R. Majewski, however, will be with family and friends, he says. That's what he told us on Friday. That means he may be in Port Clinton, maybe in some spots in Toledo, depending on how the election goes tonight. But as the night goes on, we'll have reaction from here as it develops. Now, Marcy's been in office since 1982, and the closest she was ever to getting beaten was actually in 1984. A retired anchorman, Frank Venner, had 43% of the vote. Now, is this a referendum on how she's doing? Not necessarily, because right now President Biden has a 28% approval rating, which means that sinks the Senate and the House of Representatives. So you've seen how nationally the polls are going right now. Well, can J.R. Majewski, with no experience in politics, beat her at all? Well, possibly, because, for example, even though his campaign got off to a rocky start this summer, a lot of momentum coming up to November 8th, and he believes the way she's spending money on attack ads on him, possibly we get an upset tonight.
feel really good. I think you're going to see me win, and we're going to be the talk of the election cycle. I'm highly confident, not arrogant, highly confident. There's distinct difference between the two of those, but yeah, I'm very confident. I feel just like I did during the primary when many naysayers said we're not going to do it, and we ended up winning. I think that's what's going to happen again.
Those were comments he made last Friday. Now, District 9 is not the same as it has been in the previous elections for Marcy. After redistricting, it has a lot more red or Republican voters involved in here. Could that get momentum for Jerry Majewski? He's counting on that tonight in elections in 2022 in the midterms. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Dan Cummins, WTOL 11.
Also, Dan, Ohio will have a new senator in Washington after Rob Portman decided not to run for re-election. Democrat Tim Ryan is hoping to join Sherrod Brown in the Senate. Meantime, Republican J.D. Vance has the backing of former President Donald Trump. Another big race here in the Buckeye State. Republican Mike DeWine looking to be reelected to his second term in office. Former Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley, she is looking to become the first Democrat in that role since Ted Strickland held office back in 2011.